Hey YouTubers, hope everything's going great for you today. I am the Pugnacious Pug, and this is my very first video. Before we start, I would like to say I'm 100% aware that this video is probably not quite up to the same quality that many more experienced YouTubers are, but I literally just started learning this like 4 days ago, so give me a break. That being said, I would like to dedicate this channel to the free expression of ideas, open dialogue, and I will soon be making a series of videos on the ideas of proper argument, what constitutes a valid argument, along with examples of argument fallacies and how to combat them and notice them in the first place. I also plan to have a worldwide scavenger hunt with in-depth clues, prizes for the winners. All that said, I've noticed that this world has become more and more divisive, with fewer and fewer people making coherent arguments on all sides of the political spectrum. I hope to inject some logic and humor into an already hyperbolic and irrational world. Up first on the docket is Anita Sarkeesian. As many of you know, she operates feminist frequency. Now, before I begin, I'd like to say that I like Anita. I believe she's doing what she thinks is right, at least, and truly is all about doing good. However, much of what she uses is poorly sourced and intuitive. Now, this is a poor place to start a discussion from. For instance, if a source is bad and doesn't have corroboration, it could easily become dismissed or even refuted. And intuition is bad for an argument because we all have different ideas on what's good, what's bad. Our intuition leads us to different places all the time. Now, the video I'm about to show you comes from Anita Sarkeesian's Feminist Frequency, and it's a doozy. In it, she claims that the whole casting people of, or at least parts, that are supposed to be for ethnic minorities, casting them as white nowadays. We're not talking in the past, but nowadays, that's a tool of white supremacy, of which she never points out any exact definition of white supremacy or how that pertains to actually putting people in movies. But what I love the most about this is she's going to trot out an Adam Sandler movie called The Ridiculous Six, and how there were a few native people on the movie set who walked off, and they were very unhappy about what happened. And to her credit, I mean, that did happen. But I know a number of native people, and the worst that they said about the movie was it was just a terrible, terrible garbage movie. So let's take a look at this clip and see if we can't point out some very simple logical errors Anita Sarkeesian makes.
No sense making things hard for yourself by inviting actual people of color on set who might reveal that your entire story is kind of racist. Or, super duper massively racist. A lesson learned by Adam Sandler during the making of The Ridiculous Six.
Morning never wears bra.
Good morning, boys! You have no right to be here! This is Apache land!
And what you gonna do about it, beaver breath?
How you know my name?
That's really her name!
Video posted online today shows what happened when a group of Native American actors walked off an Adam Sandler movie.
You're trying to tell a Native what's disrespect to them?
Degrading women, because as a Native American person, we hold our women very sacred.
They say women had names like "Where's No Bra" and "Beaver's Breath."
We don't need to sell all our people. We don't want you to sell our people. We understand, and I understand completely, but we're not going to change people.
It's ridiculous that audiences of color have to keep raising their hands like kids in a classroom and demand to be heard.
So what I find interesting about this clip is, yeah, there were some tasteless jokes, and they made up some funny names, and they had whites playing natives. Sure, all of that. I grant that. But does that mean white supremacy? Does that mean super racist? And I would say, absolutely not. It's ridiculous. She goes on to say that POCs, or people of color, have to raise their hand to be heard. I mean, is she serious? The clip that she herself used showed a news organization covering a walkout by natives. A news organization covering a walkout. I mean, how much more heard can you get? I think what she means to say is that since the director or the producer or whatever said that we aren't changing it, that somehow that means white supremacy. And this brings us to our logical fallacy. Now, there are a number that could apply to this, but we're going to go with false equivalence. Since the idea is that a joke was made, and whites playing natives happened, and that some funny names were used, that means that means white supremacy. Now, those two things are not equivalent, and I'm going to put the definition up here of white supremacy, and you'll see that it doesn't mean that. It doesn't, in no way does this make whites superior. In no ways does this mean that they're more superior or that they're better than any other race. It's a false equivalent, and it means nothing. Yet she'll just go on and on and on with this point. And let me say that, it's okay to walk out. I got nothing wrong with the natives having walked out. It's okay, in my mind, though, for the director to say, no, we're not changing it. This is how it is. It's not racist. You just don't like it. You're offended, and like Ben Shapiro likes to say, facts don't care about your feelings. And in fact, I would even say that there's very little point in making this video at all, except for people like Anita Sarkeesian have advocated for laws and censorship to shut people down for saying things that they disagree with. And for me, that's a huge, huge problem. And let me tell you why it's such a huge, huge problem. Ideas that are racist, that are sexist or misogynist or whatever it is you want to put in there, if you legislate them, if you make the government come in and force people not to say them, they'll be said and done behind closed doors. And if that happens, those ideas never ever die. It goes from mother to daughter and son, father to son and daughter, and on and on and on. It gets perpetuated. The only way these ideas die is in sunlight. You bring them to the surface, you refute them, and people hear the reason why their arguments are so bad. And even if it doesn't change them, it changes some around them. If you like this video, show some love to the pug. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and until next time, remember to be pugnacious.